Welcome back to our prenatal class. Today's going to be an active class and we're going to be using the Theraband for work. Again, feel free to try all this without a Theraband. If you have some light weights, feel free to do that. If you don't have weights, you can also just use some canned food or water bottles as well. We're going to start standing and we're going to wrap the Theraband around your thighs. So make sure you have the Theraband nice and wide. You want to get it pretty close, pretty tight, especially if you have a light or medium tension Theraband. And then when you tie it, don't do a knot or you're going to spend a lot of time trying to undo it. Go for a little bow. It doesn't look very fabulous, but it works pretty well. We're going to start with our feet about hip width apart. You can have your hands on your hips or around your rib cage, whatever feels best for you. Taking a nice deep inhale. And exhale. Another deep breath. And exhale. Drawing those front ribs together. Taking a really deep inhale, letting your body fill up with air. And then as you exhale, drawing everything in, feel like you're trying to lift and hug your baby in towards your spine. 3 more breaths like this. Each inhale going a little further to the back of your ribs. Each exhale wrapping that waist further in, hugging that baby closer in for 2. And after that last one, we're going to go for these little tiny pelvic tucks. So I want you to make sure that you're keeping your spine nice and tall. Imagine that someone is drawing a string straight up toward the ceiling from the crown of your head. Keep your spine tall. You're going to exhale, draw your baby in, inhale and release. Exhale, drawing in, feel your belly button drawing closer in towards your spine. Inhale and release. On this next exhale, you're going to draw that belly. Slightly tuck your pelvis, so you're trying to curl your pubic bone up and in towards your face. And then inhale and rock back into neutral. Exhale, pelvis tucks. Feel like you're trying to scoop here with your pelvis and pubic bone. And then inhale, come right back into neutral for 4. And 3. So super tiny movements, so it might not really seem like anything's happening at all, but you should feel a bit of warmth in those low abs and pelvic floor muscles. And after that last one, come right back into neutral. Make sure you still have your feet about hip width apart. We're going to go for some standing leg abductions. So keep your left foot grounded down on the mat. You're going to kick that right leg straight up and out to the side, and then switch. So here you're trying to minimize the shift happening as you switch from side to side. We're starting to get that side butt muscle activated. You don't have to open your legs super far out. And I want you to think about going nice and slow, feeling your foot grounding deeper on the mat, helping you maintain a nice balanced stance. Trying to keep it as centered as possible. We're going to do 6 more to each side, making sure that when that leg lifts, you're not crunching in your waist. You're keeping your waist nice and long, only lifting as far as your hip will allow without hiking up. 4, 3, 2, last one to each side. And after that last one, again, feet hip width apart, maybe a little wider if that feels more accommodating to your belly. We're going to go with some squats. Keep it parallel so toes are pointing straight forward. You're going to exhale, send your butt down and back in space. Try to send the weight into your heels so it's the back of your legs and your glutes working to lift you back up. So here, squatting down. See how my chest hinges slightly forward. You want to make sure you're keeping your spine long so we're not flexing. You also want to make sure that you're not allowing your belly to pull your low back down, forcing you into an extension here. Keep your spine nice and long. Keep those low abs drawing up and in towards your spine. Press into your heels and stand. We're going to do 8 more like this, nice and slow, going at your own pace. 4, 7. And 6. We've got 4. And 2, you're going to hold it down as low as feels good for you. Holding it here on this next one, we're going to go for tiny pulses, up an inch and down, up an inch and down. You're pressing from your heels. We're getting, again, this pulse to come from that thigh muscle, which is where your thigh meets your butt. 4, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stand all the way up, squeezing your glutes at the top. We're going to get a bit of a wider stance here. So you want to have your legs externally rotated, a little wider than your hips. Heels point in, toes are pointing towards those top corners of the mat. You're going to exhale, bend your knees and come down into your squat, and then press into your heels and stand. So you don't want to go super wide here. You still want to maintain a pretty central kind of foundation and base. And you want to think about the external rotation coming from your thigh bone. So we're not just twisting at your knees or at your ankles. We're really getting your thigh bone to open out towards the sides, so it's coming from your hips. And then same thing here. You want to make sure that when you're squatting down, you're not flexing forward and you're not overextending. Think about keeping that pelvis slightly tucked forward, still sending the weight into your heels, and then pressing into those heels to stand. 6. And 5. 3. And you're going to hold it down this last one. Pulses here, up an inch and down, up an inch and down. Super small movement, pressing from those heels. You should feel the side of your butt working here, especially with adding that Theraband on. 4, 6, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stand all the way up. Beautiful. We're going to take that Theraband off. And this time you're going to hold it with your hands. So here you want to make sure that you've got your elbows glued in by your waist. You have your palms facing up, holding that Theraband. The closer to the center you're holding, the more tension and more work this is going to be. We're going to work on your rotator cuff muscles, which are these 4 sets of muscles that help your shoulder stay stable as we move our arm around. You're going to draw your shoulders back. Keep your collarbone nice and wide, elbows glued in, and you're just going to open your hands an inch out to the side without letting your elbows separate from your waist, and then slowly draw your hands back in. So here, arms open, and close. Moving nice and slow here, especially as your arms are drawing back into the center. You want to make sure that you always slow down as you come in, so we're not allowing the Theraband to snap you back in, but we're still allowing your muscles to control that movement. That way we also find some length even as we strengthen the muscle, which makes that muscle more flexible, and it also makes it less prone to injuries. Good, we're going to do 6 more here. And 4. 2, and this last one, you're gonna hold your arms open, tiny pulses out to the side here. Oh, this is gonna burn like crazy. For 8 and 7, 6, keep those elbows pressing in by your waist for 4 and 3, last 2, 1, beautiful. You can relax those arms. Keep your Theraband nice and wide. You're going to place the center of it down on the mat and step on it. So here, once you've got that Theraband pretty centered, beautiful, you're gonna hold on to the ends. Again, the closer down towards your feet you're holding the Theraband, the more tension you're gonna have here. We're gonna go for some pretty intense like shoulder work here, so you might wanna hold on more towards the end. Make sure you've got your feet, again, about hip width distance apart here. You're gonna come down into your squat. Again, making sure that you're not overarching or flexing, nice long spine. Arms stay straight, and as you exhale, can you lift them straight forward? And then lower them back down with control. Keep drawing those low abs in. And here, only lift your arms as far as feels good for you. Controlling slowly as your arms come back down. We're going to do 7 more here. Excellent. Keep your spine nice and long. Keep those collarbones wide and open. And again, if holding the squat does not feel good, you can do this just standing straight up. It might add a little extra tension to your shoulders here for that Theraband. So you might want to open your arms, lift your arms a little lower. Last 3. 2. And after that last one, lower your arms, stand all the way up. Nice deep breath. We've got about 4 more variations here. Again, feel free to stay standing to do them or come down into the squat if you want to add a little extra glute work in as well. So if you're ready here, coming down into your squat, you're going to reach those arms slightly forward and bicep curl. So here you're focusing on keeping your elbows fixed in space and let them lower and lift as they bend and straighten. That's taking the work away from your bicep, kind of throwing it more to your shoulders. You want to keep your shoulders steady, keep your elbows fixed. So we're really focusing on targeting your bicep here, even though your shoulders are still doing a ton of work, just holding this in place. 4, 6. Again, feel free to do it standing if that feels better. We've got 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Nice deep breath. Relax those arms. Feel free to come down into your squat if that feels good for you. We're going to go for some rows here, so keep your spine nice and long, bending your elbows and straighten. This one you might want to grab a little shorter down on the Theraband to add a little extra tension. Keeping those collarbones nice and wide. Keeping your elbows narrowed in by your waist. We're going to do 8 more here. Beautiful. 4, 6. 3. Holding it in 2. Hold your elbows by your waist here. You're going to straighten your arms. Keep them straight and lower them back down. Going for that chest expansion here. Arms straight and back and lower back down. Getting a bit of tricep work here. Still working those rotator cuff muscles. For 8. And 6. Again, slowly returning those arms back forward. 4. 2, 1. Excellent. Carefully come up. You're going to take that Theraband. Before we move on to a little bit more glute work, you're going to hold that Theraband in a diagonal behind your back. Start with your right hand up, left hand down. Again, the closer to the center you're holding that Theraband, the more work it's going to be. For this one, you're going to start standing nice and tall, and you're going to open your arms out in a diagonal, and then slowly control it back in. Out in a diagonal, and control it back in. We've got 4. 3, 2, 1. Beautiful, and we're switching sides. So this time you're going to have your left hand up, right hand down. Again, the closer to the center you hold, the more attention it has. Control back to close. We've got 6. 4. 2. And 1. Beautiful. Let Theraband go. We're going to wrap it once more around your thighs. So again, make sure it's nice and wide. Tighten it as much as you want here. And again, tie it with a bow. Once you have that set, I want you to carefully come down to the floor, however way that feels best. Just make sure that you don't flex forward. So you just bring one knee down, one knee follows, and then you're going to come down to all 4s. Start with your hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Make sure you've got a nice long line of your spine, collarbone is wide, and we're going to move through some cat-cows here. So inhale, let your tailbone flare, feel down towards the mat, chest lifts away from the floor, and then exhale, pelvis tucks, arch your spine up toward the ceiling, moving through like an angry cat. We're going to do 4 of these nice and slow, going at your own pace. And 3. Last one. And then come right back to center, finding length here again from the crown of your head through your tailbone. Again, from here, you're going to bring your forearms down onto the mat. Again, making sure you've got your elbows about as wide as your shoulders, and your elbows are just underneath your shoulders. We're going to start with our left leg here. You're just going to draw that leg, still keeping your knee bent, heel up towards the ceiling, towards the sky, and lowering it back down. You're drawing your belly up and in towards your spine. Feel that heel reaching up to the ceiling and slightly up and in towards your head. That's going to get your hamstring to activate here. You're pressing your forearms into the mat, keeping your collarbone nice and wide, so we're still supporting through your core as well. 4, 6. 4. 2. Hold it on this last one. You're going to straighten your leg, and you're going to lower it down and lift it up. Lower it down, lift it up. Small movement here. I want you to focus more on length. So feel that your left toe is reaching far away from you. Someone is pulling it away. That's going to help you activate your hamstring and your glute a bit more here. 4, 4. 3, 2. Hold it. Tiny pulses. Up, up, up. 4, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend that knee back down. Nice deep breath. We're going to do 2 more on this side. So draw your belly up and in. You're going to reach that right leg nice and long. Again, feel like someone's pulling that heel away from you. You're maintaining a nice long line of your spine, pressing into your forearms. You're going to rainbow your legs over to the right, tapping your toes just outside of your mat. Then rainbow your legs up and over to the left, tapping your toes just outside of the mat. We're going to do this 6 more times, nice and slow. Again, feeling like someone's pulling that leg away from you the entire time. 4, 5. Trying to keep your hips from shifting too much as your leg moves. 3. 1 more to each side, and then you're going to keep that leg reaching nice and long. Drawing tiny little circles here. Imagine you're trying to trace the edge of a golf ball. 4, 5. And then we're switching the direction of that circle. 4, 3. 1. Switch the direction. Beautiful here. 4, 5. And 3. After that last one, reach that leg long and then drop your knee back down. You're going to come back onto your hands. Stay in this quadruped to begin. We're going to go for a little bicep push-up. So you're going to bend your elbows out to the side, lowering your chest down with control, and then pressing back up. Make sure here that when your elbows bend out to the side, you're not letting your shoulder blades sink in together. You're keeping your collarbones nice and wide, controlling the movement down. If this feels pretty good for you and you want to make it a little bit more challenging, you can go into a kneeling plank. So here you have your pelvis lightly tucked, you've got your spine nice and long. Same concept. Slowly bending your elbows, lowering your chest, and then pressing into your hands and lifting. If you're feeling like Superwoman today, you want to go even harder. Tuck your toes, go into a full plank, and bicep push-up. Now here you want to make sure that you're not feeling a pinch or pull in your low back. If that is happening, think about lightly tucking that pelvis, and if it still continues and you're in a full plank, think about doing a kneeling plank. If you're in a kneeling plank and that still happens, think about coming back into quadruped. You want to make sure you're staying safe here. We're not causing any injuries. We want to strengthen and challenge safely. We've got 3, 2, and after that last one, bring your forearms back down. This time we're going to go right side. So again, forearms are about as wide as your shoulders, collarbones are nice and wide, knees underneath your hips. You're drawing your belly up and in towards your spine, giving your baby a nice hug. And you're going to keep your right knee bent as you sweep that heel up towards the ceiling. And back down. Up and down. Going here for 7. Squeezing that heel in towards your butt and up towards the ceiling. Really getting your hamstring to activate for 5. 3. Keep pressing. Hold it up on this last one. Straightening that right leg. Again, feel like someone's pulling that heel away from you. You're going to lower your leg and lift. Lower and lift. For 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold up on this last one. Tiny pulses up an inch again. I want you to feel like you're squeezing from that thigh muscle for 5 and 4, 3, 2, 1, and bring that knee back down, taking a deep breath here. And reaching that right leg long once more. Beautiful. Again, if your knees are feeling a little sensitive here, feel free to roll up your mats, creating a bit thicker padding. We're gonna go for that rainbow leg. So you're gonna cross your toes and leg over to the left side, tapping your toes on the outside of your mat. Then rainbow your leg up and over, tapping your toes on the outside of the mat. Keep pressing into your forearms. Keep lengthening that leg away from you. Collarbones are wide. We're going to do 6 more to each side. We've got 3. 2, 1. Hold that leg long and draw tiny circles. Nice and small for 4 and 3, 2. After this last one, switch direction of that circle. Keep lengthening that leg away for 5 and 4, 3, 2, and after that last one, bring your knee down, nice deep breath. Carefully come to kneeling. We're going to take that Theraband out from around your thighs. Good. You're going to place that Theraband down on the mat, hands over the Theraband. You're going to have your knees underneath your hips once more. Starting with your left side, you're going to grab that Theraband with your left hand. Make sure you're pressing into your hands, lifting your chest away. You're drawing your belly up and in. And then as you exhale, sweep that left arm back and down. Going for this chest expansion. For 6. If this feels good and you want to add a bit of extra challenge, maybe as you sweep that arm back, you draw your right leg long and down. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. You're going to sweep your left arm back, holding it there, bending your elbow, and then straightening. Elbow bends, it stays glued in by your waist. and then straightens. Again, the closer to the center you're holding that Theraband, the more tension it's going to be, the more work it's going to be. So play around, find a tension that feels good for you. It's challenging but manageable. 4, 5. And if it feels good, again, you can hold that right leg nice and long, finding a bit of a challenge here. 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower that arm down, lower that knee down. Nice deep breath. We got 2 more variations here. So collarbones are nice and wide. You're going to draw that arm back. Hold it kind of level with your hip. You're going to open it out and draw it back in. Open it out and back in. Going here, 4, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower that arm down, nice deep breath. Last one here, we're going to go for our rows. So you might want to hold on to a bit shorter tension here. Once you choose that tension, you're going to bend your elbow back and in. Bend and in. Keep your right arm straight. Keep pressing into the pinky side of your hand and lifting your chest away. We're going to add a bit of a thoracic rotation here. So as that left elbow bends up to the ceiling, twist your chest open to the left and back to center. 4, 5. 3. And after that last one, come right back to center. We're going to do everything on the other side. Breath here. Again, we're going to start with that chest expansion, so find the tension on the Theraband that feels good for you. Hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips, and sweep back. Four, 6. Adding that left leg extension if it feels good for you. 4. 2. Holding it back on this last one, going for your tricep presses, elbow bends and straightens. You can hold that left leg long if it feels good for you. Beautiful. If not, you can bring that knee down. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2. After that last one, bring that arm and leg down. Nice deep breath. We got those last 2 variations here, then we're going for our stretches, so we're almost there. You're going to reach your right arm back again. Try to keep it level with your right hip. And you're going to open it out an inch and in. Out an inch and in, kind of imitating a windshield wiper motion here. 4, 5, 3. After that last one, you're going to lower your arm back down, going for those rows and then adding that thoracic rotation. So again, you might want to hold a little shorter on the Theraband here to add a little extra tension. Bending your elbow and straighten. Bends and straightens. Trying to bend your elbow up and slightly out in a diagonal. Excellent. Here we're going to start adding that rotation of your chest. Elbow bends, opening your chest to the right and center. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Bring your arm back down. You can open your knees nice and wide and go into a child's pose here if that feels good for you. Maybe finding a bit of a twist here, reaching your right arm underneath your left. And switching sides. Excellent. Coming right back. We're going to go for our mermaid. So you can hold onto the Theraband in front of you. You're going to have your right shin parallel in front of you. Left shin is going to be parallel to the edge of the mat. Reach your right hand up and over. Feel free to pull here with your left hand a bit more, finding a little extra length on that right side. Excellent, coming back up. Finding a nice twist of your chest. Left hand presses against your knee, twisting your chest open to the right. Coming right back to center. You're going to bring that right forearm down. Reach your left hand up and over. And then come back up. We're going to switch sides. So left shin is forward, right shin is now off to the side. Reach your left hand up and over. You can pull a little bit more with that right hand. Coming right back to center. Twisting your chest over to the left. Back to center. Left arm comes down. Reaching your right hand up and over. And then carefully coming back up. You're going to grab that Theraband, come up to standing. And I want you to hold that Theraband behind your back. You're going to open it. And reach your arms away from you. Opening up the front of your chest and shoulders. Don't let your low back overarch here. Keep a light tuck of that pelvis. And release. Hold that Theraband in front of you. You're going to pull it open and reach your arms up. Open your chest up here towards the ceiling. And then come right back to center. We're going to do a quick little roll down here, so feel free to just toss that Theraband onto the mat. You're going to exhale, tuck your chin, rolling down one bone at a time. And dangle here if this feels good for you. Beautiful. You can just sway from side to side. Feel free to also hold on to your elbows if that feels good for you. Hold it still in the center. Gently nod your head yes. And softly shake no. You're going to let your arms ankle down here. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, sink a little deeper in that fold. Inhale as you soften your knees. And exhale to tuck that pelvis. Start to restack your spine one bone at a time. Head is the last thing to come up. You roll your shoulders back. Maybe shake your legs here a little bit. Do a quick little prance. And we are done. So this is our prenatal active, we using the Theraband. I hope you guys enjoyed it and you have a really nice day.